what's inside a Mobius. Let's see. Well, it looks like they took some advice and put some foil around the camera for interference. So you might want to add a little bit more foil. This mud I'm going to have to get out of there. But this is what's inside. You've got the board. Sorry. You got the board with your buttons. And you've got the camera. Camera lens is a standard screw-on lens, so you could basically buy any kind of standard wide-angle lens and replace this lens with the same lens that we fly with on CCD cameras. So that's a good thing about the Mobius camera, is that you can actually change this lens. But you don't have to buy the Mobius wide-angle. You could probably find something cheap that would fit. And there's the battery. So for ultralights, you'd get this and tap it into your one-cell battery, but maybe, and fly that way. It's quite a light camera. I'm pretty impressed. There's your chipset. And today was a nightmare. The laptop wasn't recording for some reason. I'm gonna have to sort that out. What else? I hit a fence and then I hit a tree, a bush or a tree, I'm not sure. And actually the quad leveled out and kept going, but I didn't have it on tape because the Mobius quit on me when it got packed full of mud. But it's working now again, so I was able to clean it up and I got the USB port cleaned out. But having it on the bottom and not really thinking about the mud puddles and stuff, I could have been a lot worse off today. But I did have some good flying. The 2215s are just not strong enough for a 1500 gram multicopter if you're getting into trouble. If you're flying smoothly and you know you have NASA or something like that, I'm sure it's a lot easier. Or some kind of like autopilot type hover or alto hold, it would be a lot easier to control. But without all that, with the basic just auto level or manual even, it does start twisting when it gets low on battery power. And about 6 months ago when I was using RC timer motors, I had the same twisting when it got low on voltage, where motors just wouldn't keep up with each other equally. So there seems to be way more drain when you're using small motors that are trying to do more work. I just put on the 2218s, the 1000s, off HB2, which I knew worked really well, and it was flying wonderfully out front, level, everything. So I'm not too sure about the 2215s for FPV camera rigs with lots of weight. Like if I'd added a gimbal, it would have definitely been way too much. So I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to sell those used on eBay probably if nobody wants them on YouTube, and I can mail them off to whoever. But I have these 5 2218s. One's having problems, and I haven't figured out which one. So those 5 are all 930 kVs, and I think I'm going to send them off as a trade because they are really good motors, and they have very low hours on them. But I think that one wire is probably bunk on one of them. It was just slowly yawing when it was flying, so it flew really well with those motors, but I just didn't find the bad motor. I only spent a half a day, but anyways, so there you go. That's the summation of today's testing. Got some cutting coming tomorrow. There's the 2215s, 1180 kV, and there's my backup 1000 for HB2. So we'll go out and do some FPV tomorrow. I'll get this camera packed up, and we will go out and do a little bit of flying with motors that I'm used to, the 2218s, which are just smoother and have a lot longer flying time, which is amazing actually. So anyways, there you go guys. 3D flying, 2215s, very robust, very powerful. For 1400 under quad, those would be perfect motors. So there you go guys, that's what's inside the Mobius camera there, including some mud.